Karibuni sana, sana, sana. Thank you so much for not changing. Thank you so much for not leaving us. Yes, tuliwaambia mkae hapa na bado mmekaa. And for that, we are grateful for that. Na sasa, I told you, we were discussing something little about Mathare Hospital. Na kama ushaikuwa huko, by the way, mimi sina ubaya. Yes, and if you've once been there, then that means you got the help that you needed. And yes, we thank those doctors over there. Lakini sisi tukigrow up venye tu niliwaambia, ulikuwa unafanya kama kosa tu kadogo hivi akiimagine unaambiwa wewe unafaa kwenda Mathare. Mimi sijui mbona tulikuwa tunaambiwa hivyo. Ama maybe something happens and you're like whatever it is that they answer you or tell you is unafaa ku achane na hizo story. But then we are gonna be having that conversation right here, right now. This is Y254. Unaweza tupata pale Facebook at Y254, utatupata YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. And yes, let's keep discussing, mzidi kutuelezea what you people think. And if you have any question, mturushie sawa, so that we can get straight and get to answer you and help you, because yes, we're here because we need you to be empowered and we need you to get informed about whatever it is that we're discussing. Yes, hey, hiyo imekuwa a very, very, very long introduction, but all this is to tell you that I have amazing guests with me this morning. And yes, we have Damaris. Mimi sitasoma jina ya pili, guys, mnisamehe mimi cause atatuambia jina ya pili inasomwa aje. Yes, and she's a communications director at Amnesty Riara University chapter, and she's a passionate youth mental health champion. That's on my right. And then on my left, we have Isaac Yego, a mental health warrior and human rights defender who's been spreading awareness and support for young people. Yes, those are the people we are with here today. And so yes, ladies first, you're gonna get to hear from Damaris. Kwanza atuambie jina yake ya pili ni gani, and then she can also tell us how and why she decided to be to take part in mental health. Yes, karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Eliza. So my name is Damaris Chelungusi. I'm a student first of all, and the communications director at Amnesty Riara COC. So for me, mental health was not like a personal journey. It is out of passion, because I feel like I deliver best here and I thrive in mental health awareness.
So you're where you belong.
Yeah, I am where I belong, literally.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi.
Tell us about yourself.
My name is Isaac Yego, also a student at Riara University, also a mental health warrior. Mine is through experience. There's a time earlier this year where I went through a lot, to a point of looking for a psychiatrist. Yeah, and so my passion for mental health developed as a personal journey. Yeah, from a personal journey.
Wow, that's very, very, very interesting. And you know, let me go to writers kidogo. When another is writing a book, alafu it is from a personal perspective, it always inahitingi different na mtu mwenye anaandika here. So yes, Isaac is here. He's going to tell us about mental health from a personal perspective. So this question directed to you, Isaac. Maybe you can tell us a little bit of what happened, if you're okay with sharing, just a little bit, and why you felt that. And okay, time ulikuwa unadeal na hiyo issue ya mental health, was help offered to you, ama was help not offered to you, and why did you decide that manze, ebu let me get involved in this matter?
And what I can say is mental health, you can't really see it physically. Like, it can't show in your physical symptoms. It is mental. That's why it's called mental. You feel it inside you, not outside. And you start, you know, the way your daily activity just changes all of a sudden. You find you had a passion in doing something, then all of a sudden you have lost the passion. You used to eat a lot, all of a sudden you don't eat. So yeah, I think mine was more of an anxiety disorder. Mine was more of an anxiety disorder, which was caused by health anxieties. Yeah, you develop health anxieties. And actually, nobody really knows, you know, you're just there, you're having health anxieties, you go to school, but back in your mind, when you feel a symptom, you're like, is it this? You Google, so again, you Google. I think it really amplified my mental health, and it really tampered with me. To a point, I did a lot of tests, by the way. I went to different hospitals, did tests, until at last I was told, just go see a counselor. And
That
for
was
sure,
the best option.
yeah, just go see a counselor. Because there was nothing being detected in the tests, nothing. Then I realized, so mental health is real. I'd never really experienced mental health before. You know, I hear people talking about mental health, but from a personal point, to me, it wasn't a big deal until I really experienced it myself.
Okay, so let's get to hear from Damaris. What is your experience in regards to mental health?
I could say about it as a silent toll. I've somehow been a victim of that, but then I can say that I was able to realize mine earlier because of the people around me. I could share something to my parents and they're like, kindly seek help. And also one thing about our school in Riara, we have these services at hand and they are free. So you get to walk into the clinic, you see a counselor, and then they're like, well, you're showing signs and symptoms of this. And then I feel like in our generation, we are empowered compared to the previous generations. So right now, it's very possible for you to walk into therapy and then you've diagnosed yourself. You know that I'm showing this and that disorders and that you'll be able to seek the help there. So I could say that through the mental health issues that I went through, I was able to get to develop my passion out of that. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know until when I got to get the information from about the two of you that mental health is a human right.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really get it in that perspective. I always thought like rights ni right to food, shelter, you know, all that. So can you explain to us how mental health is a human right?
I feel mental health is not a privilege. It's not supposed to be a privilege. The way our Constitution, Article 24, says that we are all entitled to health care. And mental health also is not a privilege, but it's supposed to be there. It's supposed to be given to everybody. You know, right now, when you want to see a counselor or what, you are asked to charge, you pay a lot for actually.
Yes,
you
therapy
pay
is very
5,000,
expensive.
10,000 for therapy,
For
one
a
session,
session.
40 minutes. It should not be a privilege. Everybody should have access to mental health. And I think they should develop, the government should come up with something, a place where people can go, talk, speak. You know, the other day I was passing Raila Odinga way. I saw a Mani center, counseling center. They are giving free mental services, counseling services this week. So I think anybody can pass through there. It should be a right, not a privilege, yeah.
Okay, so Damaris, can you tell us your view in regards to that?
I could say that mental health access is not something that, let me call it privilege, as he said, and it is something that cuts across, regardless of age, occupation, and anything, even in terms of finances. So anyone, no matter what they do, they should be in a place of accessing mental health services. And it is not something that weighs or puts out people or whatever. It is something that is accommodative to everyone. And that is why we see that mental health, it is a human right. Everyone is entitled to have that. The way you are entitled to get basic needs like food, shelter, you should be entitled to get mental health services the same way. Yeah.
Okay, so since the both of you are students or you've been around students,
Yeah.
do you think students are taking the issue of mental health seriously or they just take it as any other issue? Unajua there is a counseling office. I can picture one from the school I was, but I never even saw anyone go there. You know, I don't even know the counselor who was there. So how do students take mental health and everything that revolves around it?
There's something you've said. You had a clinic in your school, but you never even knew where it was.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I had the same thing. I've been in Riara for long, but I never knew where that clinic was. Until that day, I was like, let me just look for this clinic.
Yeah.
And I was asking the soldiers, where is the clinic to? Yeah, I think people are ignorant of this thing. Most students, they die silently, you know. They don't want to speak out. Maybe it's due to fear of judgment. You know, we all fear. You go open to somebody, and then by the end of the day, I think we feel, I'll tell this person my story, I'll tell this person my issue, but how is he going to, or she going to help me? So I think our generation has really developed something that I think I better die personally than share out my stories.
Yeah, because that's, you know, okay, I'd say that the issue is that we share our issues with the wrong people.
Yeah.
Nitaenda niambia my bestie nikifikiria she is my best friend, and
And then
then
they go to
nikipiga kona
cartoons.
hivi story ishafika huko, so that also makes us wary of sharing. Maybe Damaris would tell us, Mimi, tuseme, or a student out there who wants to share, or any other person who wants to share, which is the best place to go to, or who is the best person to talk to?
I feel like defining best comes from within you, and what you believe is best, you're the one who can control that. So the best place you can go to is where you feel empathy and where you feel that you can thrive in opening up into this. And I feel like most students and most people in our age gap term seeking help as a sign of weakness, but it is not. It is a sign of being strong, because the moment you seek help, you're opening an opportunity to receive it and for you to thrive in that. So I would say that seek help in the best place where you feel empathy and where you feel openness is available to you. Yeah.
Can I add on that?
Yeah, sure.
I feel like also parents are failing in this part, because most of the time you go to your parent, of course African parent, unamwambia you have stress, anakwambia I'm paying for you school fees, you are not buying food, umekosa dini kwa hii nyumba. You know, and I think that's what makes us not come or say such things, because they'll just tell you, unalipa rent? Hapana. Unalipa school fees? No. So what's wrong?
Stress unatoa wapi?
Stress unatoa wapi?
Na hii miaka
So by the
yako
end of the day
ndogo.
unasema, it's okay, I'll just find some, I'll keep quiet. So you just lock yourself in your room and, you know, you go on with life. And
So,
it eats you in
yeah, sure. Now, okay. Now, since we already have identified there's a problem with our parents, they kuna venye tu, they are not doing it right.
Yeah.
What advice would you give as a mental health warrior to a parent out there, wakati huyu mtoto wako anakuapproach, anakuja na kuambia, hey mom, kuna venye nasikia niko na stress, kuna venye sisikii vizuri. How should this parent handle that situation?
I think first you should build a good relationship with them, because there we have an issue again in parts of relationship with our parents. It's not easy to approach them.
Unaweza enda waambia rafiki yako lakini
huwezi ambia mama yako. Exactly. You know, your mother will judge you, but your friend won't judge you. Even your father, they will judge you. But your friend, of course,
atakuelewa. You're thinking from the same level,
yeah.
So he kind of understands you better than your parent would.
So I
so
think
what should parents really do?
They should change. They should try and be open. I don't know. They should just be open to and try to understand we are living in a different generation and a lot of things have changed. See kama kitambo when ungechapwa tu na mzazi. Now right now you need to listen to somebody. Listen to them. Hata kama you want to give them a solution, just tell them you love them and you are there for them. You know, hearing your parents say I love you, it's not even it's
yes, tabia ya Wakenya.
Yes, tabia ya Kenya. You know, your father can't tell you, my son, I love you.
Hata yikwambia utakuwa, mom,
pardon?
Yeah. Hata in fact somebody was making a joke saying even hugging your father, it's
like
tunaanza aje, you know. But I feel such things should be brought in, ndio yufanye mtoto pia akwe close to the parents and to be able to open up about such issues. Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
I feel like parents should meet us at where we are, at our vulnerability. Not them staying up there and be like, at the end of the day, I am your parent. It is me who brought you into this world, so I know what is best for me. At some point, maybe you do not know, because you let me into the world, maybe into uni, and uni is shaping me in somehow different. So some aspects you knew about me are changing. I'm also knowing myself, so I am able to identify this. So instead of parents being the bigger person here, they should meet us at our vulnerability. Yeah.
Sijui hii ni kitu nilikuwa naona kwa movies, lakini siku hizi pia nimeanza kuona with some parents, they discuss with their children maybe relationship stuff. Do you have a boyfriend? Do you have a girlfriend? Mimi mamangu hajai niuliza by the way. Hajawahi. Kitu aliniambia by the way juzi tu aliniambia, be very careful, you're still very young. Mimi sijui nitakuwa young hadi lini, you know, ni sawa anyways. So relationships, when we speak about relationships, they come in and kind of heartbreaks nini, hizo ni vitu zinafanyanga mostly people in the campuses kukua kind of stressed out, and it brings out an aspect of mental health. So how should they handle it? Can I go approach a wanaitwa counselor? Can I go to a counselor after nimepata heartbreak? Ama is there an issue they discuss and an issue they can't handle?
Counselors handle anything and everything. For instance, I had a counseling session recently, and for the first time ever, someone asked me, tell me about your relationship issues, your love life, and I was like, okay, let me debrief for a moment. So counselors are trained for this, and they really, really give you a safe space. Once you build trust, also be open to your counselor, and they'll be able to meet you where you are at, and you will seek the right help. Yeah.
So what advice do you give juu labda kuna mtu anasikiza hii conversation na ametumwa tu message last night akaambiwa it's over, you know, so how, because you know me coming to open up to you sikujui ama nakuonanga tu, and then I'm telling you about my deep secrets, you know, it's not easy. So how do you advise me, or how do I begin ndio nikuwe very sure that hautanisema bado kuna mtu mali yako like uko sure kabisa that nikishare hii nini yangu this person is not going to speak about it. Let's get to hear from Isaac, because he says he was once there, hata kama mimi sijasema ilikuwa kuhusu relationship. Don't hear what I have not said, but yes, can we get to that point of really trusting these counselors?
I think you need to find a counselor who you don't know. Let me just be
That's
honest.
true.
Or who you don't
know. Just a stranger
yeah,
somewhere,
a
you
stranger.
find them, and you know those people you don't know, because the people you know, let me tell you, you'll tell them juju. You won't go inside.
Yeah, utakuwa like,
You'll be very careful on what you're telling them. Kesho isikuje ikakugeuka. So you find a counselor who at least haumjui. You've not met with them.
Unajua tu hata after hii hakuna mahali
tutaipatana kwa barabara bahali, so it's easier to find somebody you're not really close with, because by the end of the day utaenda, you know, now going back to our parents, hata ukiambia your parent, they'll just take it to a pastor.
Pastors
pastor will just tell you let's pray, you know. Okay, yes, it's good you pray, it's okay, but by the end of the day you really need to talk to somebody about there are issues by the young people are facing out here. And you need somebody who understands you.
Yeah.
That's why I'll say, don't find, okay, I'm not being discriminative, but find a younger counselor, like somebody who understands you, you know. Don't go to someone
who has gone through the same thing.
Through the same thing, exactly.
Okay. Sasa, we are looking for a counselor, manze, na
It's very hard.
there's one I was talking to, kwanza aliniambia, me I'm not a counselor, sijui aliniambia she's a what, kajina kengine hapo iko very, then she tells me that she, for one session, which is it 45 minutes, it's 3K one session. So na ujue mimi hiyo time mashida zangu hazingeisha na one session. So I'm listening to her, I'm looking at her and I'm like, okay, 3K na niku introduce yana nini and I feel like I need so much help. So mimi hiyo time nilikuwa student, I didn't even go because I'm like 3K surely na labda napeangwa 1K ya pocket money, you know. So how can we help out, or are there facilities maybe kwa hosi inaweza kuwa hatujui, you know. Umesema tusiende kwa watu tunajua, naweza kwa hiyo counseling ya shule nipate ni lecturer mwenye anakujanga class kila time na maybe hata tusikizani na yeye, unaona. So are there such facilities in hospitals that maybe we can go to, or bado hazijakuwa introduced?
What I can say on that, I can divert a little bit, but I feel nowadays there's something I was seeing on social media where people, youth, they form like a group, they go for picnic, you know, they share their stories. Nowadays they don't go to hospitals for counseling and stuff. They just find somewhere arboretum, they go for those picnics, they share their stories, you know, they go for hiking. Also that helps, by the way, it's a form of counseling. Because this is a stranger, you have just come, you have met him or her, you tell them, you know, you're not sure whether you'll meet them again. So I think that also helps. Because finding a counselor, let me be honest, I used to pay 5,000 per session. And then you are there, the counselor is looking at anaangalia time, and say, I have another meeting somewhere, you know. So your pay could limit, you can't really share a lot. So I think apart from finding a counselor, find those friend groups online. I know it's there. They say they have picnics, they have hikes. Just go find them, and yeah, it helps.
Okay, Damaris, tell us about your perspective.
My perspective is that seeking professional help is of importance, because professionally this person has gone through training and has been modeled in all ways possible, and they are able to help you out. So choose a counselor first of all, and familiarity, as you say, that is a very, very big deal. And also age. Age really matters, because sometimes you go to, let's say your counselor is midlife, 50s and something. So you get there and you share your problems, and they go like, let us pray. And then you're like, wait, we're praying about what? Yeah, I'm here over logic issues. I do not need prayer at this point. So literally, professional help is of importance. And also, and familiar friend groups, that also helps, because you get to crash out to someone who you do not know, and this person really helps you a lot. Yeah, they do not judge you, yeah.
Especially this our age.
Yeah,
We do
group.
people. It's really hard to judge somebody.
Yeah, uko na zako, niko na zangu
Yeah,
pia.
so why am I judging you?
Well, okay, mental health. Kuna mtu hapo nje anasema mimi niko sawa, hata sijui mbona nasikiza hii conversation. Can you describe to us what it entails, and what are some of the signs that as a person nitaona and I'd be like, I think mentally my health is deteriorating? Because before ifike kwa ile point yenye mnaenda kuokota makaratasi, because I know you guys amkuwa mmefika hapo, si ndio? But still you knew that you had a mental health issue. So can you tell us some of the signs that I as a person would see and be like, hey, by the way, there is something that's happening here?
It really doesn't show it physically at first, but in the long run, eventually, it starts to show in the physical way. But I can say the small things, you know, interests. You lose interest in things. You used to be a person who loves movies, loves playing. Then all of a sudden, you're not interested. In short, mental health makes you feel you have no interest in anything. You know, you just dull. You don't want to associate with people. You put yourself away from people. Yeah, so it doesn't really show physically. You might think you're okay, but deep down something is wrong, and somebody who is very keen will notice, hey, this person, ayuko sawa, you're not yourself. Of course, you might lie, you might smile out here, but there are those changes. You know, we will start noticing, hey, na mbona siku hizi kwani ufanyi this and this? What is wrong? No, yeah. So I think the small things that you change can show, hey, this person mentally needs help.
What if nimechange my preferences, nilikuwa napenda chipo, siku hizi nilikuwa nikulande hii, ama I'm also busy. How do I really put a finger and be sure that this is an issue that is dealing with mental health?
I feel like mental health is all about noticing how you think, feel and act. So for you to point out, it has settled within you that, hey, I'm not thinking or acting or feeling the same way I am. Because I feel like when you're okay with yourself, when you're reflecting with yourself, you can really tell that I am happy or I am sad or I am broken. So mental health comes into that cup. And also you have the aspect of mental wellness. So mental wellness is the act of maintaining a positive way of thinking and acting and feeling. And so when we get into mental illness is when you've been diagnosed that something is off with your mental health, with your way of acting, feeling or thinking. And this has been done professionally. So it is all within you to notice that, hey, something is off, yeah.
Acha tuseme kuna jenzi yako hapo nje, yeye anajua hizi pata hiyo 5k ya kuona. Na labda hata hayuko online, haizi pata hizo friend groups. Juu pia huku nje kuna scammers. People might find that as also another way of having tupatane BS. Unafika hapo uko peke yako unaibiwa. You never know. So are there other ways that I as a person would handle if I feel like, hey, by the things are not working out for me, I might be dealing with mental health? So are there other ways maybe I can use, apart from the two that you've named, to help myself out?
I would say thriving in society. Society is the place where it takes you the way you are. When you're not okay, society will be there for you. So find your space in that. I also feel like in public hospitals, the way the government has done that health whatever is available to everyone everywhere. I feel like there are such, what are they called? There are such clinics there for mental health issues, and it is free to walk into a counselor into public hospitals anywhere. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk to students who are from Riara. What does your organization do, and what does it deal with? Kuna, when someone wants to come to you, is there, like, can you describe to us what they're supposed to do? Or juu like umesema ulikuwa shule and for a very long time huku hata unajua kwenye the facility is. So for people from the school or other schools, is there something they should do to make these facilities more public to the people? Unajua like juu hata hao wenye kwa hizo ofisi najua wanakwanga like mbona nobody is coming to visit us, nobody is coming, you know, how can we publicize this and how can we make it known to the public?
We can create a mental health awareness forum where the way we have ChatGPT nowadays, you go, okay, not even ChatGPT, but rather something, anonymous questions where you answer. We can create a forum like that and give out to students to fill, like a survey, a questionnaire about mental health, what they know about mental health, what it is, what it is about, and such things. Yeah, I think. Okay, we can also put it in the system, education system, because I don't think we have a mental health unit in universities. So we can try and find a space where we can be having trainings on mental health. And I'm sure people will show up. You know, there's this perspective that people won't come.
Yeah,
Yes,
they will.
they'll come, really. In fact, if it's free, people will come.
Watu wanagopanga tu kulipa. Like, I was like, kila mtu ana, hiyo pesa yote 5K inatoa wapi? Hiyo hapana. But when it's a free thing, then that's a good way. What do you think, Tamaris?
I think it's about speaking about it. Speaking about it, first of all, to reduce stigma and to create that awareness so that everyone, they have it in their mind that I need to take care of my mental health, because once it is taken care of, that will make me possible to show up for myself in the best way possible. So number one, speak about it. Reduce the stigma that that surrounds mental health, because people have this notion that going to seek mental health services, it's about weakness or being crazy. No, it is not. Yeah, it is not about that. So let us speak about it to get rid of the stigma around it. Yeah.
And also teachers and lecturers should be trained on how to handle students who are suffering from mental health.
Yeah.
But you know, at some point when I was in high school, I feel like teachers also wanachangia sana kwa hii mental health issues. Yeah, they really changia. Because actually I will tell you, you won't go anywhere in life, no, what are you, you know, they really I feel there's a problem, there's a gap there, they demoralize people. So
kwanza sisi tulikuwa tunaambiwa without mathematics,
without chemistry,
Elizabeth, you're getting this, where will you go with, you know? So what you're saying is true.
They shouldn't be trained.
Mwache kufanya, but at least I love CBC right now. You thrive and you best at what you do. So maybe iyo kidogo it's going to be helpful. We also have some lecturers. I had one in campus. He would really come and talk to us. It's a 2 hours session, but then the first whole hour atatumia kuongea nini. Most of the time we would get tired and all that. But maybe alikuwa anasaidia mtu mahali. You know, yes. That's also something else. And now, are there clubs? Tulikuwa tunajua kuna Scouts Club, kuna Environment Club. Are there clubs in schools, or should they be there, like mental health clubs, where students would be trained among themselves to handle other people, or maybe they would have this organization where students feel free to just come and join?
Okay, there are clubs, but again, I feel like they are dormant.
Oh.
Yeah, I think most schools, there's no school you'll go or a university and you find there are no clubs. They are there. In fact, they even said the clubs day, the clubs week. But I feel also the school doesn't really put more effort on supporting these clubs to thrive, because in university you really need funding at some point. You really need funding. So I think they are there, but now the issue is support. The issue, they are not known. So yeah.
Okay, so okay, tunaweza kuwa na organizations or okay, maybe kunazo that are
supporting this.
Yes, and they are non-governmental.
Yeah.
Because that also would be helpful. There's a story I came across online, and it was a very sad story about a man. Alikuwa amebebwa na bike. I don't remember which highway it was, but akashukishwa kwa highway, and then akalipa mtu wa bike. The guy went na akamwambia keep change by the way. And then this guy akajirusha kutoka kwa the knee and he died. So in the back of my mind I was like, what if mzee wa bike alikuwa anaongea na yeye, or kwenye like kutoka toke kwake kwa nyumba decide naenda kujirusha, until him getting there alikuwa mpatana na watu wengi. So what if somebody was like uko aje and talk and all that? So what would you advise the common man, watu huku nje, how should they handle it? Sijui kama ushaingia kwa mat. Me, I say hi to everyone I get to in the matatu. That's our culture in church. Yes. Yeah. So we just say hi, uko aje, uko fiti bas. But kuna mtu tasalimia hata hataki kukuongelesha. So how should we handle it? Because people are dealing with things but they are keeping it to themselves.
Let's be open-minded. Ndasema hivyo, let's be open-minded. Tusikuwe na hii situation nilikuwa naona in Africans where somebody wants to jump na wanamwambia ruka, huyu haizi ruka, huyu anacheza, si uruke. Those things are bad. Let's just be open-minded. Let's listen to them. Let's try to ask, even if you're in that mat, ask your neighbor, by the way, how are you? They really talk. Even if you have nothing to tell them, you can wish them a good day. You can tell them they are loved, they are seen. They are, it can really push somebody forward. They'll ask you, mbona msee aliniambia hivi?
Me, there's a day I really cried in the matatu. Like, something just had happened. And I was really crying. Nilikuwa kwa kiti ya huko nyuma, kiti ya nyuma inakuanga sijui watu watano. And nobody bothered. Like, who cares what's going on with you? I was I was in so much pain. And nobody even asks, are you okay? Or why are you crying? Or wanakuangalia tu na kila mtu anaendelea na.
I think what has happened, nowadays, nobody trusts another person. There's this thing of conmanship in India everywhere. So when they see you crying, they are not sure whether you are really genuine ama you are just yuko biashara zako Nairobi umekuja. So I think there's an issue there also.
But then should we allow that to just overpass and cover the fact that people could genuinely need help or be suffering na unafikiria anajifanya tu?
I usually say
unfortunately it has overcovered that because people have this notion that fight your own battles, you'll figure this out. I do not know you, you're literally a stranger in my life. But I feel like helping strangers is really a nice thing because you do not know what this stranger needs. And maybe they have not found this comfort from where they belong. So you as the stranger can come into their lives and give them this comfort and the hope to show up again. So unfortunately, the thing that I do not know who you are, I do not know who my neighbor is, has really overcovered the aspect of empathy, and that is really a sad thing.
Alafu hatujaongea hata ujui naitwa nani, hata ujui kama ni pesa yako nataka. So why don't you first listen? Yes, why don't you first listen to what I have to say? Because maybe all we want is someone to talk to. All we need is someone to pour out how we're feeling or share a little bit about ourselves. So yes, watu mumesikia from professionals, mwache kukua hivyo, please. Let's care about one another. The person that you're seated next to, unaona kidogo, they look sad and it's very early in the morning. Ask them what's happening. It's very sad that ulikuwa na mtu and you didn't even talk to them and then you realize something tragic happened to them and you're like, wow. Ningemwongelesha tu ama ningemsaidia.
And then Kenyans are very funny. Okay, after an incident happens is when they come out and saying,
wow, angesema tumsaidie.
Angesema, kwa nini hakusema? And somebody was even saying and people are ignoring, I think that's the sad part.
Because most of the people wanakuanga wamejiu.
And they'll go online and say, oh, this guy was a good person. But this person spoke. People never listened, they never listened.
Yeah. Okay. Mental health, nimekumbuka. There's this issue of Kenyans kuingililia watu online. And there's a way they can really come at you to an extent where when unasoma comments unasikia uchungu na si wewe unaongelelewa. So can you advise us or how should we handle that? Because at times you do something, you post something online, kila mtu ako hapo na kuingililia. So how should we handle it to an extent that we don't allow these to get really to by the ways of comments zinaweza. So there's this lady wa LSK mwenye aliingililiwa hadi aka resign. You know, we don't want it to get to such a point. So how should we handle such?
I would say, first of all, be self-aware. Because when you go online and make it obvious that I have posted this, you had your own intention. And in as much as people are commenting into that, let that not shift your view on your intentions. So be self-aware on that and keep your intentions to yourself. Let it not be a confused state that this one says this and then I change my mind. Because once you're self-aware, you're very firm in this and nothing can bring you down to... Yeah. So once you're firm with that, that is all. Yeah.
But Kenyans can really demoralize somebody.
Yeah, that's it.
There's this Nigerian girl who was complaining Kenyans have really costed her mental health. Because the way she posted something on TikTok and everybody was, you know, commenting, they can really cost you. I feel people should be sensitive, you know. Some people comment it as jokes.
Yes, actually,
it's most of them are jokes. But people take things in different perspectives, so people should be sensitive, you know.
And also me, I'd say, kama unajua comments zao zitaku affect, zima.
Switch
So there's a place you can switch off that
off.
you won't see the comments because people will talk and they must, you know. So msianze ku take your lives because mtu alisema kitu naye alikuwa na joke, you know. Yes. So let's get to talk about Friday, this 10th, which is World Mental Health Day. So as your organization, what measures or what is the plan that you have on this specific day?
So to commemorate the World Mental Health Day this coming Friday, we have a walk organized by Amnesty International. It will take place from their offices there in Lavington.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're interested, Chaka Place. If you're interested in joining the walk and being part of this or donating, we welcome you on board. Yeah.
So what is it going to entail? You guys are just going to do it and then Rudy, Ama, are you going to do it as you talk to people, or is there like some plans of free counseling on that day, or what does it involve?
We will do it as we sensitize everything around mental health, because first of all, Amnesty is a human rights movement, and in human rights movement they have the aspect of mental health. So as part of the work, we will have sensitization around mental health, and also we will have talks, and just everything around mental health will be preserved for Mental Health Day. Yeah.
Okay, so guys, mmesikia, msikose kama una form ya 10, join them and let's celebrate mental health. Juu msikwe mna celebrating.
And also men should come. Men don't come for these things.
Yeah, that's true.
What I feel like, watatuona aje. Okay. There are people who say, I'll just cry it out, nitalia iishe, you know. Is that the best? Is that a good way to handle issues, or what would you say about that? Kwanza for men. Men say they don't want to cry.
At least strong men don't cry.
So can you
they
talk
should
about
actually.
that?
Men should cry. Ni vile sasa, I think our culture has made it so bad that ukiona wanaume analia, it's inakuwa demeaned, but I think they should cry. Crying helps, by the way. You remove something that was really deep. Yeah. Men should learn. They should bring that culture. Mulie too. You know.
Surely, okay. You just be free. If you feel like you wanna pour it out, go ahead. You can find a space in you're just alone. Cry it out. Alafu kimaliza uko sawa, you know. But yes, crying is true. You know, I don't know why it's always like one unalia, you're a man and all that. And that's
for the ladies very easy. You find girls just somewhere, they can even just cry
anywhere.
But for men, they have to hide somewhere. I don't know. Anyway, me, I cry. I can cry anyway, any day, anytime, because I already know.
It helps you out. Okay, mulie.
In the point of mulie, I feel like do not cry and live in that trap. Because ulie na ikutoke. When you do that, let it also be a way of letting that thought go, because we mentioned that mental health is about thinking, feeling, and acting. You've acted through crying. What about your thinking and feeling? So let also the crying impact the thinking and feeling, and yeah.
Nimekumbuka tena, sijui mbona nilikuwa nimesahau. Mi therapist wangu ni ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, today this and this happened, how should I do this? So, what is your take in that, in regards to that?
I think I also did that. If you had seen my stories, ChatGPT was full. So this has happened, so what do I do? And it really gives you, but by the end of the day, I feel like you need somebody. You need a physical person, you know, somebody you can see, somebody with emotion. ChatGPT will advise you, of course, but by the end of the day, it doesn't really help.
Hata I feel.
I feel,
I
it
feel
will tell you, of
emotions
course, and you know
zako,
you're the one who is
haielewi.
telling it what to tell you. You know, it's
By the way, unaiuliza, so is it okay? Alafu, yes,
Yeah.
it's
It's
very okay.
okay.
Alafu unaiuliza kitu kingine, is this okay? I think this is better.
So I feel like you're going to ChatGPT to tell you whatever you want to hear.
Exactly.
And so
Not
personal
the
touch is lacking and criticism is lacking. So ChatGPT will just go with the flow of your prompt. Yeah.
And ChatGPT won't even, if it's in anything, if you want a hug,
It
ChatGPT
won't
honestly,
be that.
it won't give it.
Wow, okay. As we wind up, you are bordering the Kibra slums. So is there something you do to impact the people in the slums, maybe as an organization?
First of all, COC in Riara, it's very open. It's not like enclosed within students and everything. It's also open to the community around. So yes, we have members from outside the community in Kibera and everything, and they are part of us. And we do meetings together, we sensitize everything together, and they are always in part of our projects, yeah.
Okay, so maybe you can tell us your final words, what you would want to say, yenye tukimaliza kama hujasema utafurahia.
I feel like mental health should not be a privilege. Please, guys, speak out, find somebody, share with somebody. Don't die alone in your small cocoons. Just come out, share. Even if you won't find that professional, just find someone to tell your story. Yeah, it really helps. Even if it's your pastor, just go somewhere.
someone.
Find someone in short and tell them what you're going through.
And what about you, Dana?
For me, I'd say that you're not a project. In as much as you're seeking help, don't forget to take breaks into that, because sometimes seeking help will mean your therapist will tell you, okay, so for this week, this is what you will do. Let us identify your triggers and everything. Take breaks into that. You are not a project. You are not. And also, mental health, it is something that it's literally your right. It is not something that you should pay to access it. So make sure that you thrive in your own space and you make this your own zone. Yeah.
Okay, so where can we find you on social media? You can direct the camera.
Instagram at Isaac Yego, LinkedIn, the same, Isaac Yego, and also Facebook.
And for me, on all social medias platforms, I'm Damaris Chelungusi. And you could also follow us in our Amnesty Riara COC Instagram page and in all other social media platforms. We would really love to have you in our platforms and also be members in our COC. Yeah.
Na tumesema from your Friday 10th ni kuwa join during the walk.
Yeah.
Msisahau hiyo, okay? And again, we have said that si lazima tukuone ukiokota makaratasi uko nje ndo ukue uko na a mental health issue. It starts right now. Labda hujakula, uko na stress, talk to someone. And I know you're going to tell me, I spoke to my pastor na akanitumia kama example Sunday akiongea. Ni sawa, find someone else to talk to. In as much as wewe mwenye uliongelesha alifanya chenye alifanya, it's life. Life has to go on. We still have to live on, and it is part of what we have. So yes, like tunakubali dunia venye iko na watu hawafanani, by the way. Na ukikosa kabisa mtu wa kuongelesha nipate. Yes, I'm going to help you guys. So yes, stay tuned. This is Y254. You're going to find us Facebook Y254, Instagram Y254. Pia tuko kwa YouTube utatupata, X tuko. So yes, stay tuned. Do not leave. We are still coming back. I am Eliza Kimani. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at Eliza Kimani. TikTok utanipata at Liz48. So yes, stay tuned. Tunarudi saa hii tu.